My name is Clay Shepler and I am in 4th grade at OJ Neighbors. Today I am interviewing Officer Hipskind, who is a police officer. Where do you work and how long have you worked there?
Well, I work for the City of Wabash at the Wabash City Police Department, and I'm currently assigned as a school resource officer here in Wabash City Schools. This is my 23rd year at the City of Wabash, and it's my 6th year in the schools, and I was part-time, but now this last year I've been full-time as a school resource officer here at the city.
What are your job duties there?
My job duties ultimately are to protect and serve, but here in the schools, it's to provide a safe, the most safe environment for you students as well as staff.
What training or education did you receive to do this job?
The training that I received my police training at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy in Plainfield. Trained for 12 weeks down there, which is 3 months of being away from family. We learned a lot of different things down there. I had a week prior to that called pre-basic, and those gave me my arrest powers. Every year, law enforcement has to have continuing education in order to keep those arrest powers. We go way above and beyond that. And now that I'm in the schools, all of my training is centered around school safety. So during the summer times, when you guys are playing baseball and having fun, we're training and learning how to have a safer school for you.
How did you pay for your training?
Fortunately for most officers, when we get hired, the city will pay for that training. They send us to all of our training throughout the year that we want to go to. They send us to the academy, they send us to pre-basic, and anything that we want to specialize in, the city usually pays for that.
What is the best part of your job? What is the hardest part of your job?
Very, very good question. But the best part of my job is working with you guys and the students. I absolutely love it. And I love the achievements that you guys are doing. And when you guys achieve something and pass tests and do great things here, that gets me excited. That's probably the best part of my job. And one of the hardest parts of my job is also working with you guys.
What is your typical day like on your job?
Most people think I just sit around, drink coffee, and eat donuts, and I would love to do that. Unfortunately, there are safety things that I have to do. So, there are 8 buildings that I am responsible for that I have to make my rounds to. Most of the time I'm here, you'll see me here, walking the halls, checking in the classrooms. There are 3 aspects of a school resource officer that we're trained in, and 1 is a law enforcement officer, and 2 is a counselor, and 3 is a teacher. And so when a typical day, I can come into a classroom and hit on safety aspects or talk about experiences that I've had. Others, I'm running drills to make you safe. And the other days, meetings.
What tools or equipment do you use on your job?
I have a lot of different tools that we use. Obviously, when I wear my uniform, this utility belt that I have here has a lot of different things that I can utilize, try not to. But I also have a lot of different tools outside of here that I use. I call on the Wabash Fire Department to come in. When we have fire drills here, the fire department bring their equipment in and they make sure that we are running our drills correctly and safely. I also call in emergency management for tornado drills. I also call other law enforcement officers in on different training periods, and you'll see them utilize their equipment. We have the canine officer come in and walk the halls and check the schools and so forth. So outside of that, I have a lot of neat tools at my disposal.
When you were a student, what were your favorite classes?
When I was a student at Wabash City Schools many, many years ago, history was one of my favorite classes, and I also loved to write. So English and history, and I do love to read. So I took a class called Themes in Lit where we read books and then we wrote about them. So it covered 2 of my most favorite things, reading and writing. And so those 2 were probably my favorite classes, and I still read to this day. I love to read.
As a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I think a lot of us, when we play sports, we want to be professional baseball players. When we play football, we wanted to be football players. And given my stature and my size, I kind of knew early on that that probably wasn't going to happen. So if I couldn't play sports at the professional level, what was the next best thing? To broadcast sports in the professional level. So I started early on, and I really enjoyed the broadcasting aspect of sports. And I tried to watch other sports broadcasters and listen and pick up things that they did throughout their broadcasts, and listen to the radio as well. And so my training started going towards that in high school, because we had our own television station at Wabash High School way back when. And I went to college for that. Unfortunately, I got called in another direction, and here I am.
What advice do you have for a student who wants to do your job?
My advice for students, and we welcome everybody because we want good officers, is usually three things. And that's get good grades, listen to your teachers, and listen to your parents. And if you do those three things, you'll succeed.
Does Wabash have a police dog?
We do. We actually have 2 canines at this point in time. One has been there quite a bit. He's Eris, and I think that he might be getting ready to end his career as a canine. We just had one that was activated in December. He's Officer Cliff, and we've already put him to use at the schools. And I believe that they were talking about adding another canine to our department here in the near future.
Thank you for answering my questions about your career. I really enjoyed learning about it, and I think others will too.
Well, thank you for having me on here, and you know I'm always available if any questions arise.